And thanks to Albertina for that very elaborate presentation. And I have been invited to respond. I've been given 10 minutes. I'm going to structure my 10 minutes on 5 words. A lot of what Albertina said, it is a response. And the 5 words all begin with the letter F. The first is fear. The first is facts. The second is fear. The third is freedom. The fourth is fraternity. And the fifth is forward in terms of the way forward. The first is facts. We don't have to be, it's not rocket science to know what's happening to the minorities of the country, whether it is to the Muslims, to the Christians, to the Sikhs, the small farmers, and also in many cases, to the Buddhists, particularly the two biggest minority groups, the Christians and the Muslims, are constantly targets of attack. And that we know. We have facts, we have figures. There are things that are fairly well documented, even by other groups. And we are experiencing this all the time, the consistent attacks. And then they are changing the narratives. They are changing the narratives, as Albertina has been saying, in a very, very effective manner. Just say, they have been bashing up the poor people here in Ahmedabad who are sending Santa Claus caps. Santa Claus has nothing to do with the birth of Jesus. This was a Coca-Cola construct. This was a Jewish construct. And they gave us Santa Claus instead of the birth of Jesus. They gave us Christmas trees. They gave us happy holidays and so on. But then they go and attack the poor people. And then we get trapped and say they're attacking Christmas. They attack Christmas trees, which has nothing to do with the birth of Jesus. So they're changing the narrative and very effectively, and we get trapped in it. That is very clear. They have done it consistently. They have attacked carol singers in Delhi and other parts. They have stopped church services during the Christmas time and so on. If you all saw that interview that I had just before Sonal Kellogg died. There are plenty of facts, and that is on the table. We all have facts. We have written about facts. It has been said in Parliament. Just 3 or 4 days ago, I was addressing in a meeting with Calcutta with some of the most high-profile opposition leaders who are bringing things now in Parliament. So we had a good meeting regarding CERD, regarding attacks on I was there speaking to them. But I think it is important. The first thing is that we are aware of the facts. A simple thing is like that their arrest of the sisters in Durg. All are clapping hands. Bishops and priests have gone and put pedas in the mouth of the BJP. But the fact is, the case is still on. The case is still on for human trafficking of the worst kind, for prostitution, and for on an anti-conversion law. They are just on bail, but the case is still on. Do we know this? We clap our hands and we think all is right and hunky-dory if we have friends in the right place. That is wrong. The second is fear. Fear has gripped us, has individuals, has collectives, especially for us as Christians. Fear comes on for various things. One is we have a critical paucity, lack of leadership among the Christians, and very especially in the Catholic Church. The cardinals, the bishops, the archbishops are frightened people. And I've spoken to them. I'm writing a letter. They are now begun their CBCI meeting in Bangalore. I've said a lot about them, what they have said during the UPA regime and what they are saying now. Individually, they all agree, but there is no kind of collective leadership. And this fear, there is a fear because they are worried about their privileges, about their possessions, about the FCRA, about their schools, about their institutions. They want to try to be in the right book. And that fear, my dear sisters and fathers, religious superiors, maybe some generals there are and provincials who are in this group, that fear is telling people, and especially our laity, that we don't believe in Jesus. Clear. Once we show that we are frightened of those who can harm our material possessions, who can harm our physicalness, our bodies, as Jesus says, he says, fear no one. What are we frightened about? And I think it is important for us to address these fears. The fear is also because we are living in a church, very especially the Catholic Church, which is highly clerical, highly patriarchal, and highly hierarchical. So, in spite of 3 years of synod, we have not learned lessons. We have very clearly decided that we priests are the most powerful people. We take the decisions. We bishops have to decide everything. And there is no synodality. That communion participation of mission, which we have been speaking about, really does not exist. So, how do we address, how do we take into confidence our laity? How do we give them positions of prominence? Who are the spokesperson of the church in India, whether it is in Hindi or Malayalam or Tamil or English? Do we have lay people? They are there in the media. They are there having important responsibilities in every section of society. But I think we need to address that. There is fear. We have fear to be visible and vocal. There is freedom. Freedom is guaranteed to every single citizen in the Constitution, which Albertina referred to. The freedom to preach, practice, and propagate my religion. We have the anti-conversion laws. I am a trustee of the Citizen for Justice and Peace. We are the first petitioner in a lot of these anti-conversion laws in the Supreme Court. Given the Supreme Court any amount of documented evidence, which I've been documenting all these years, on how this is not merely obnoxious, it's not about whether I have a right to convert you, but whether I have, as a citizen of India, can stop believing in a God today. If I stop believing in a God, that means I'm an atheist. I've changed my religion. If I'm saying I'm searching for God, I've changed my religion. I'm an agnostic. So, does my Article 25 of the Constitution give me the right to preach, practice, and propagate my religion, and according to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, change my religion, perhaps, as Swami Agnivesh used to say, 3 times a day? The state cannot decide on my matter of conscience. I'm not saying as a priest I have a right to convert you. I have no right. But whether I have as a citizen, then what about the freedom of speech and expression, the right to dissent? Umar Khalid is still languishing in jail. And where are Christian voices of protest for Sharjeel Imam and Father Anand referred just now to any amount of Protestant pastors in the jail? What are we Catholics doing in order to take a stand for them? So there is freedom guaranteed in the Constitution. And Tagore constantly has many verses about freedom, including that song we sing constantly. But I think it is more important than that. How do I express my freedom? How do I stand up for the rights and freedoms of every single citizen of the country? The fourth F is on fraternity. It is there in the preamble of the Constitution. Fraternity is basically to be able to respect the dignity of every single human being. The first Catholic social teaching, all women and men are created in the image and likeness of God. How do we ensure that? And fraternity is there. Tomorrow we celebrate the International Day of Fraternity because thanks to Pope Francis, thanks to Fratelli Tutti, it is the ability to transcend our sectarianism, our congregations, even our Catholicity in the narrow sense of the word, our Christianity, and in order to collaborate with all women and men of goodwill. We have a lot of, how many of us are involved in groups like the PUCL? Today there is a big hearing in Delhi on what is happening to the minorities all over the country. How many of us Christians are in that? There is a National Alliance of People's Movement. Some of us from here are involved in the PCL and the NAPM. And there are lots of things. On the 10th and 11th, we have a big meeting in Bangalore of a lot of civil society organizations. I hope some of you will come. But even religious in Bangalore, in Karnataka, don't get involved in serious issues that affect the people of the country, people of the state. Fortunately, Karnataka has gone now to the paper ballot. That's good. So collaboration with others, living the synodality is my fourth word, fraternity. What is the way forward? The way forward is something that we are all looking for. We are frightened. We do not know what to do. We are not told. And very often, we do not know how to go about. So I would like to highlight three things which even Albertina has been stressing upon. First of all, let not our response be reactionary. They make us reactionaries. In fact, we have to set the agenda. We have to set the agenda for constitutionalism. There is an excellent group based in Bangalore called Reclaim the Constitution, doing excellent. Have constitutions in our institution. Make that the holy book of citizenship. There's only one book we have in India for citizenship. Demand, together with other groups, that constitution and so on keep away anybody from the BJP, from the RSS, from the right wing elements of the country, even if they are your best friends, even if they bring you liquor bottles and flowers and cakes for Christmas. Many of our schools get it. And I think we have to shun them. That fellow, there was this guy there in Bombay who was bringing the Shillong choir to Bandra and everyone was clapping hands. Okay? But he will never take a stand if any Christian or Muslim is attacked. Create connections and then look at legal. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are already people working in the legal system. Consult people. If you are attacked, do not feel shy to say that you are attacked. You are attacked. You know, some people, if a mission is attacked, they don't want to tell the neighboring mission that they are attacked. So the way forward is we need to be together. We need to be one in mind, one in heart, one in soul, and we need to take a stand with others for the constitution of the country, for the future of our country. 5 F's: facts, fear, freedom, fraternity, forward. Thank you very much. God bless you all.